This is the use of a total energy plant in the Yuma Reservation, showing that a power plant can give off waste heat which can be used to grow plants year-round. And it shows an alternative to strip mining. That is, the tribe could grow $170 worth of vegetables for what would they get 17 cents worth for their coal. This shows strip mining, the land being blown up and carried away in fantastic proportions. They have 1 billion tons of coal on the reservation, and this could all be removed in a 35-year period, leaving total destruction for 200,000 acres. That's the issue this week for the tribe that is discussing this in the tribal council. And the question is whether to go that, leaving power plants surrounding them, which put hundreds of tons of material into the day, which I think would create skies with 20 times the pollution that Los Angeles now has. These are factual things, even the Bureau of Reclamation records themselves.
Yeah. Was that Black Mesa, some of that film we
yes,
just saw?
Black Mesa in Arizona.
Arizona. That's been called one of the great ecological disasters of all time. And that the Four Corners plant down there puts out more pollution than L.A. and New York combined.
By a factor of 20.
That is contained on Navajo Reservation and Hopi Reservation.
I missed the first part of that. Say that again?
That Black Mesa is located on the Navajo Reservation and Hopi Reservation.
Yeah. And unbelievable the amount of pollution that it does. I know those companies have a concern for their public image. I've also had menacing and threatening letters from Peabody Coal and others, and I never answered one. One of them was carbon to all the people who could have me fired, which I thought was interesting. If the guy who wrote it is watching, I answered you, but I only sent out carbons. I didn't send you a copy. To everyone influential in America, Kate Smith, John Wayne, everybody. We have a brief message. We'll be right back. I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
We've been using this little book as far as promoting the fisheries at Pyramid Lake as far as development is concerned. Yeah. It's very interesting. It has a history of the Pyramid Lake Paiute tribe, and as far as the Indian Wars and also the
Desert Lake.
Our efforts into developing it. Okay, thanks.
There's so much to read and master on this.
Right, I like to give
I just wonder, I always want to know who the Indians' friends are in Washington, since that's where things get done. Who wants to grab that? Senator Jackson has been despised by Indian leaders at times, Senator Scoop Jackson, and lately I hear that his reputation has improved. What takes place in a case
like
like
that? Well, I'd like to say something. I might be in opposition to the Indians, because some of the Indians are now, because Jackson has turned around and been more or less cooperative with the Indians. He has been the enemy of Indians for over a long, long period of time, and since he wishes to polish his image, he's using the Indians as a polishing rag and doing favors for Indians and being attentive to Indian affairs. But when the Blue Lake was given back to the Pueblo Indians, his comment was that it set a very bad precedent, and he was very adamant about that. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sam. It puts him in a tough
I'm sort
spot.
of biased because Jackson, Magnus, and Meade, what I feel is a very powerful force in Washington, D.C., and because they're my congressional people, that I feel that he had to walk the middle of the line like any other politician. I do not want to comment any further, but I do want to say this, that if there is a friend in Washington, it's in the form of legislation that is now pending for the last 3 years. And I don't know whether Congress knows it or if it's there or who has informed them that this legislation is there that would help relieve the problems that we use Bureau of Indian Affairs as a scapegoat.
Would it help if people watching who write in after we talk like this and say, what can we do to help?
That would...
If they got in touch with their congressman and said, what Indian legislation are you concerned with, and what's your opinion of it?
Well, there's financing bills, there's Indian Trust Authority bill, there's a education bill, amendment to the Johnson-O'Malley Act pertaining to Indian education. The whole package is there. And what we don't need is hearings. We need action from the American citizens that could write their senators and congressmen and get this legislation passed and get us off the receiving end of this richest country in the world. We are ready and willing and able to go ahead and start economic development on reservations and utilizing our enormous resources. It takes the almighty dollar to do this, and this legislation that's in Congress right now, pending, would be the means to that end.
And the Lummis have certainly shown they can do it.
Well, I'd like to add to that. First of all, I think we all mean well wanting to find the bad guys and the good guys, you know, in Washington and elsewhere. Yeah. I would like to say Senator Jackson, Senator Magnuson, Congressman Lloyd Meads, and others in our district have stuck their neck out a mile against heavy opposition to support the Lummi project and many other Indian projects. They've been very courageous about this. Many other senators have done this. The Vice President's office, through Bob Robertson and the NCIO, have done this. We have a long, in other words, you like to think that the Republicans, the Democrats, or there's far more variation within a party supporting Indians than there is between parties. And Indians don't like to pick favorites and generalities. They like to zero in on the specifics. And in these cases, these senators and congressmen have a long record. The agencies have very good records, many of them very bad records in some cases. The important thing, though, is the great inertia in between. Those who just don't care, they don't even show up to vote in Congress on these bills. And they've been there for 3 or 4 years that he's mentioning. For example, to create more economic development reservations, the money should go directly from the BIA, Bureau of Indian Affairs, to the tribes and let them make the mistakes like any other agency or any other group does, and enable them to hire and fire their own personnel so that they can move ahead at their own rate. And there is now, they're asking for authorization for block grants to let the BIA do this for the first time.
They say congressmen forget about Indians when they get to Washington because they don't have that many Indian constituents. But if their white constituents began to write to them and say, I'm not an Indian, but I'm interested in how you're going to vote on this.
Yeah, a few thousand postcards would
all the difference. Yeah, they certainly listen to that mail. Are you sorry you came on a show like this?
No, I wish I'd been more helpful and funnier and more articulate and amusing the way you are.
Hey, I know. I'm gonna give you a chance I seldom give people. Will you come back tomorrow night? You can think about this. I have a message.
You're a dick.
Message, and we'll be right back. Lummi Pacific Ocean trout. Lummi Indian Enterprise, Marietta, Washington. Mr. Brando is eating it and looks great.
Yeah.
Gee, you're really in business. I'm delighted to see that. Give me a chunk of that. That's wonderful.
Isn't that good?
I'm going to stop doing a show and start eating more. Well, thank you for being here. It's a rare treat for us and a great pleasure. Thank you all, gentlemen.